There's a bit of a new normal in the St. Louis suburb, where there have been protests in the streets for more than 70 days. For the most part, things have quieted down a bit from the violence we saw in early August, but with a leak to the New York Times this weekend that evidence presented to the grand jury seems to back Officer Darren Wilson's account of what happened, the potential exists for it to become a tinderbox once again. Yesterday, Governor Jay Nixon announced what he says is the next step in preventing Ferguson from happening again, creating a commission to study the social and economic conditions that led to Michael Brown's death, to address the concerns, and to offer recommendations on how to make this area a better one to live in.
What now? What will we do in this moment while the whole world is watching? What will we do to move forward after 73 days of civil unrest? Legitimate issues have been raised by thoughtful voices on all sides. Shouting past one another will not move us to where we need to go. Outsiders eager to grab the national spotlight and push their own agendas do not have the best interests of this community, this state, or our nation at heart. That is why today I'm announcing the creation of the Ferguson Commission. I'm asking for your help in identifying individuals in this region to serve on this important commission.
So this commission isn't likely to be formed until sometime next month. Nixon saying that at this point he's looking for nominations of people who may be able to serve on it. That story in the New York Times this weekend laid out what looks to be evidence that could show there won't be an indictment coming down the line.
Well, we don't know about that yet. We don't know about that yet because there could be other evidence that shows that there could be an indictment. It may not be the indictment that people were hoping for, or it could be a no bill. We don't know where that's going to go. But I do think that this was an effort by Nixon to get out in front of that, to be proactive, because when the Ferguson situation first erupted, he was reacting to what was going on. So, I mean, in a way, I have to commend him for that. But those who are saying that that's the reason why he's doing it, I think that's one reason. I think another reason is that, this could be Nixon's legacy.
It likely will be.
And it likely will be. And I think he wants to be able to say, hey, I did something that moved these issues forward. And I have to commend him for that as well, because there are a lot of other politicians in the state of Missouri and nationally who've ran away from this and didn't want to deal with it. But he's dealing with it head on, so I do have to commend him for that.
Well, but let's be clear about something. This is not a Ferguson, Missouri issue alone. This is a St. Louis, Missouri issue. You could say that this is an issue in many cities across the country. And so in the respect that there would be a commission appointed to address the issues in Ferguson, and they are deep-seated and long-running, that is going to be difficult to achieve tangible, marked results. The other thing is that all of St. Louis needs to look at this as a reflection of it as well, and that this incident, these 73 days of civil unrest, should be sparking conversations in every corner of that community about awareness, about the kinds of conversations that people are having and who they're having them with, and about day-to-day life in that community and how segregated it continues to be.
Yeah, I think one of the issues with St. Louis, and as Jim said, I mean, this is around the country, but St. Louis is a microcosm of a lot of communities where you aren't having these conversations. And you have to go even further than the conversations. There needs to be some tangible changes that take place, because what's happening in St. Louis is that you have an inner core and a northern part of the city that's one area, and then you have the west and other areas and south of St. Louis that are totally different. And every time that there seems to be a move in a direction to bring St. Louis together as a whole, instead of that happening, you have more and more white flight, more and more schools that are disproportionately and economically disparity. And so it's just one of those situations that when they have an opportunity to do something, they really haven't taken advantage of it.
Well, and to one other issue, and that is whether or not this is Governor Jay Nixon's legacy or not. Obviously time and history will tell a lot of that, but, particularly with police departments and predominantly white police departments that are serving predominantly African American or just a diverse population, there should be subsets of conversations and proactive policies that are being enforced and enabled and adopted to deal with the underlying issues. So it is very simplistic, and I think we all like to put things under simple umbrellas and say, well, the governor should have done this or Ferguson should do this, when we all should look for what is our role to do in this and how do I affect change in my corner of the world. And if everyone in that community isn't doing that, then you have to question how seriously change is going to be adopted.
And in fact, the media plays a huge role in this because quite often they aren't covering the community as a whole. They're covering the community in certain ways. And the whole Ferguson issue clearly shows that. Now you're seeing these issues that have been there for a long time out in the open.
Latent.
And
exactly. in some cases, latent.
Yeah, exactly. You show South and West St. Louis County looking one way, and you show North and Central looking another way. And that is a part of the problem as well. So we can't, as a media, we can't just sort of sit on the sidelines and not be a part of those conversations and a part of the policies as well.